Hi guys, so today we're going to talk a little bit about our holiday nutrition challenge that we put together for you. We are going to be partaking in this as well. It's only 3 weeks long. Eric here is going to explain a little bit about the science behind why we chose to focus on what we are focusing on, and I will explain how the actual challenge works and the point system works with that.
Cool. So the first thing that I really want to emphasize on is that this is not a weight loss challenge. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to build consistency in your nutrition habits. Because of that, we're not focusing on the number on the scale. We're not weighing in constantly, but we are tracking is your good and your bad habits that you may have. One thing that we want to do is that we want to have these consistencies going into the new year so that whenever we do have our solid weight loss New Year's resolutions or whatever it may be, then we are going to really focus on these good habits that we have developed as a tool in order to build upon so that you do reach your goal weight or whatever it may be. A couple of things that I really want to harp on is that this challenge is really meant to get you feeling as good as possible. The first thing that I want to touch on is I hear a lot of people complaining about no alcohol, no gluten, no dairy, no eggs, things along those lines. No breads or processed foods. And the reason for that is because those processed foods actually help bring down the way that you feel by causing inflammation inside of your system. They reduce your recovery rate. They keep you inflamed, keep you absorbing less nutrients and things along those lines. So while maybe everything that we haven't talked about is specifically those things causing you to gain weight, they will cause harm to your organism and to your system. So over the next 3 weeks, I really want us to focus on whole foods and micronutrient dense foods as much as possible. Things like vegetables, grains, and your lean protein sources, as well as your healthy fats, because those are health promoting. The other thing that I want to talk about is going to be sleep. Now, there have been studies done in 2020 that show that not getting enough sleep is going to raise your cortisol levels. It's going to cause you to gain excess weight. It's also going to cause your appetite to increase. So even if you're not eating enough to gain weight, you're going to be struggling to kind of maintain that weight that you are a lot more. So hormone health and endocrine system health is a very, very important part of this challenge. I really want you guys to focus on the way that you're feeling as you're going through the challenge. Let's talk a little about macronutrients. So macronutrients are going to be the other thing that we're focusing on, right? So while we're focusing on feeling good, macronutrient consistency is kind of the other side of that coin. You can hit your macronutrients without getting a bunch of nutrient dense foods, but that's not what we're trying to do here, right? We're really trying to focus on those good foods while hitting our macronutrients. Now, the reason why macronutrients are so important is because your body craves consistency. So if we're constantly monitoring our macronutrients, we know we're getting the exact same amount of carbs, the exact same amount of fats, and the exact same amount of proteins every single day, right? Imagine if you were working a job where one day you got paid $100, the next day you get paid $1,000. Your instinct would be to take that $1,000 and save it because you don't know when your next $100 paycheck is going to be, or even less, right? Your body kind of functions in a very similar manner. So by keeping a consistent income of calories, right, just like if we're getting a consistent income of money, we know how we're going to budget that dietary intake, right? Your body works in a very similar way. So keeping that consistent macronutrient intake throughout the next 3 weeks is going to make it a lot easier whenever you're trying to hit your goals going into 2021.
All right, so here we have our holiday nutrition spreadsheet. So each person is going to get their own spreadsheet. Okay, that is going to link with either myself or with Eric. So it is not made for the public. We won't be sharing this, but we will be able to see as we make changes, as you put in points, deduct points. We can keep you accountable and ask questions as well. So here first, we have the day of the challenge at the top. Okay, again, this is only for 21 days. We will finish on December 22nd, right before Christmas. So it's only 3 weeks long, okay? That's not that long. So the reason we're doing this is to keep us accountable during these holiday times. While there's a lot of parties, there's a lot of temptation to get us off track. We still have our goals that we're working towards. So we want to try to stay on track as much as possible, especially during these cold months. We're starting to get colder and people want to just snuggle on the couch or stay in bed. This is just some extra motivation to keep you going so that way you don't get too far off, okay? Because remember, consistency is the most important for results. So first, we have our daily starting point. So this whole challenge is a point-based challenge. Of course, the idea or the goal is to get as many points as you can by the end of the challenge. Okay, so we will start out every day with a starting 6 points first. Then we have our negative points, our positive points, which are both going to be per day. And then we have some option for bonus points every week. You will get bonus points per week based on activity, based on logging your food, so just a little bit extra. We're not requiring you to log your food for the actual challenge, but you do get mad bonus points for that because it is the best thing you can do whenever you're working towards a goal and watching your nutrition. So here on the negative points, you get -2 points per violation. Okay, so one thing, I've already sent this out to my clients. I did want to point out I've made a couple of changes. We decided to go ahead and delete the skipping meals. We're not really focusing a lot on timing of our food right now, rather than we're focusing on what we're eating and just staying away from the harmful foods, the unhealthy foods, and focusing on the good stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and take that one out. And then I also want to take out the mindful eating log down here, because I feel like that is redundant to logging your food on MyFitnessPal. So the negative points that we have, you get -2 per violation per day, okay? So if I have, you get -2 per alcoholic beverage. So if I have, let's say, 2 beers that night, it's going to be a -4, okay? -2, less than 6 hours of sleep, -2. If you don't hit your water, which I'll explain where that is in a second, also a -2. Fast food, -2. So let's say I got some fast food that night with my beer, -2. Fried food, -2. Sugars, -2. Okay, so I'm already at 0. For this challenge, we're not going to do negative points. So if you get into the negative, then it's just going to be 0 for the day. However, that doesn't mean go crazy. Remember, this is still to benefit yourself. So any cheating on the challenge, or cheating at all, whatever, is just going to harm yourself. Okay, so yes, the prize is pretty cool, but it's not worth lying over. That totally defeats the purpose. So let's say I have some added sugars as well. That puts me into the negative. So if that's all I did for that day, I would want you to change this to 0, or I would change it myself. Heavily processed food, -2. High fat on nutritious foods, -2. So those are going to be your negative points per day, per violation. Then we have our positive points, the good stuff that we want to focus on. So you get 1 point per day for positive. You get 1 point if you hit your protein, 1 point if you hit your fiber, 1 point for over 7 hours of sleep. So notice it's less than 6 for the negative, over 7 for the positive. So in between 6 and 7, don't get anything. If you hit your water for that day, you also get a +1. So to find your protein, fiber, and water, we're going to refer to the bottom of the sheet here, where I already have some calculations for you. Okay, your body weight in pounds will go into this box. I've probably already done that for you. That's going to tell you how much protein you need in grams per day. It is best if you spread this protein throughout the day rather than trying to eat it all at once. Your body doesn't really process it as well that way, so it is better to try to spread it out throughout the day. Make sure you hit it. So protein should be in each of your meals. That's going to be one of the main things we're focusing on during this challenge. Okay, fiber, over 25 grams of fiber per day. So this is actually the minimal requirement for everybody, whether they're training, whether they're trying to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever, not training, it doesn't matter. Everyone should have at least 25 grams of fiber per day. So that is the minimal. America in general has about half of that. So it's really not good for you. Fiber is very helpful with maintaining your blood sugar, managing your blood sugar, also managing weight. It also helps keep you full for longer, and it helps your digestive tract as well, which will then help you absorb nutrients better too. So it is important to focus on fiber. That's why we're doing protein, fiber. And then, of course, water. Water, super important. Okay, so this is also based off of your body weight. The recommended amount of water is 0.5 to 1 ounce per pound. So I have it set at 0.75, right in the middle. And we should be on that higher end since we are training, we are active and working out. You want to replenish that sweat and that fluid. Okay, so that is how you find what you need in order to hit your positive points for that day. So let's say I hit my protein and my fiber and my sleep. Okay, so now I'm back at 1 point for the day. Yay. So then we have our bonus points. So bonus points are awesome. Okay, you get 5 bonus points per week for these. And this is going to include, like I said, more activity and also logging your food, which is going above and beyond what we're requiring for the actual challenge. So if you train at least 3 times in the week with either me or with Eric, you get an extra 5 points. Okay, if you do a strength workout at home and you want that to count for the challenge, talk to us. We'll consider it and let you know if it counts. But at least 3 sessions for strength training with us, 5 points for the week. If you get at least 4 cardio sessions, okay, then you get 5 points for the week as well. I am going to accept walking. Walking is a great form of cardio, walking your dogs. However, I want it to be for at least 25 minutes if you're counting that as a cardio session, just to kind of make a rule on that, so we're not counting, walking in the grocery store as a form of cardio, right? Logging your food on MyFitnessPal is also 5 points per week. Now, I did change this as well. This is the last thing I changed. It was 3 days. We have changed it to 5 days. You have to log your food for 5 days in order to get those 5 points. And that is because we don't think 3 days is enough to really see a big difference and teach you what we're trying to get you to see, and how what you eat and what you do affects how you feel and how you look, right? So 5 days a week, you get 5 points. Within those 5 days that you log, if you hit your macronutrients, your protein, your fat, and your carbs, then if you hit those numbers for 3 days out of the 5 days that you logged, you get another 5 points. So you're already logging your food, and then if you actually do the numbers you're supposed to do, then you get an extra 5 points as well. Okay, so a lot of opportunity here to make up some points as well. However, keep in mind you cannot outwork a bad diet. So this is a nutrition challenge. We are focusing more on the nutrition side. So once you have all of your points, it'll total up here at the end. Okay, and that'll give you your final points for the challenge at the end of the challenge, which we will be doing measurements and weigh-ins at the end of the challenge again to see how it affects you. The most points you can get within this challenge is 270 points. So very exciting. There's a lot of opportunity to learn, to see how food and activity affect you. And also, like I said, just a little bit more motivation to get it through the holiday month. So that way, once we are at the end of this, we'll be able to celebrate Christmas, and then we'll come back after New Year's, ready to hit it hard, ready to jump back in for our New Year's resolutions or for our goals. It'll be a lot easier to transition that way. So good luck to everyone. I'm super excited about this. I hope everyone partakes, like I said, even if you have stuff going on. Tracking and keeping a lookout of what you're doing and seeing how it affects you is huge. Okay, learning your body is huge. So like I said, take advantage of this and really try your best. Okay, and if you have any questions, if you need any help, we are always here for that. So good luck. Catch y'all later.